It's become part of the city's culture, identity, history. But this sport goes beyond the fortress. The Scarlet and Gray.
The UNLV men's hockey team has dominated.
Our boys in silver.
It's a great opportunity, it's a great challenge, it's the right time. It feels right.
The monsters in the north.
The Golden Knights are beefing up their minor leagues with the Night Monsters.
Night Monsters all the way.
We are super excited.
And the next generation.
Covering the stars of tomorrow.
They live at the rink. They love the game.
Vegas wanted hockey, Vegas got hockey.
Covering every local team on the ice. This is Hockey in the Desert Weekly.
Welcome inside another edition of Hockey in the Desert Weekly. I'm your host, Vince Sapienza. We are in the final quarter stretch of the NHL regular season. A tough start to the week for Vegas, but they finished strong. More on that in a minute. First, let's fire home a snapshot of what is in store over the next 30 minutes. We'll look back at a couple milestone games for the Knights, both current and former. Introduce you to the new Vegas Golden Knights High School Hockey League coming to the Valley. Plus, as always, the Skating Rebels joining us in studio. We're talking to goaltender Doug Wakeling.
Here's Moore up ice, looking, his shot, and he scores!
You played losing hockey from then on. When you play losing hockey, you usually lose, and that's what happens.
So Byfield keeps it in, backhander down low, Fogle scores! So here's Kempe, Edmondson with a long drive, scores!
Losing hockey is not stopping on pucks, not taking care of the pucks, puck battles, discipline. I thought our discipline was fine in terms of we weren't in the box all period. We lost every battle. Don't take care of the pucks, so you're pulling out of your net a lot, and that's what happened.
Now here's Fiala, cutting in a backhand, he scores!
Play winning hockey, that's what I'd like to see for 60 minutes. We did a good job of that. And halfway through the first and then the second period. You're never going to be perfect the whole game, but it's really inexcusable the third period. If a team expects to be playing deep into the playoffs, these are the types of games you're going to encounter. So if you got to be able to handle it. It's that simple.
So as mentioned at the top, not a great start to the week for the Golden Knights, and head coach Bruce Cassidy did not mince words post-games, as you heard. 4 unanswered goals in the third period snapped Vegas' 3-game win streak, but again, Butch says it wasn't just the fact that they lost the game, more so how they lost. So with that, we go to the Fortress Vegas, opening up a 5-game homestand, and what a response from the guys in gold in the opening stanza. 66 seconds into the game, Keegan Kolesar lights the lamp. Chicago turning it over in their own end. Brett Howden picks it up and sends it over to Kolesar, one of 3 assists for Howden on the night to make it 1-0. However, the Hawks answer right back. A deflected shot gets past Alex Pietrangelo right to the stick of Nick Foligno. He buries his own rebound to tie the game at 1. Nearly 2 minutes later, it's the biggest guy on the ice finding the back of the net. Nick Hague, trailing the play, picks up the block shot, tickles the twine for his 4th of the season to regain the Vegas lead. Now, the Knights had 3 power plays in the first period alone, and they cashed in on 2 of them. First, it's Ivan Barbashev getting the redirect in the low slot, and then later, it's Tomas Hertl in his office clocking in and smashing this one through Peter Mrazek. And with that goal, Jack Eichel picks up his 51st assist of the season, passing David Perron for most in a single season in franchise history. Now, just when the Hawks thought the nightmare would be over, Pavel Dorofeyev decides to join the party, sniping home his team-leading 24th of the campaign. It was 5-1 Vegas after 1. Knights would go on to hold on in a wild one, 7-5. After the game, I asked Kolesar how he would describe what we all just witnessed.
Probably a coach's nightmare, right? Good start. All the mistakes that we made, they're self-inflicted and they capitalized on it. It's good that we came out with the win, but like I said, it just wasn't good enough for us and to follow up that good first period.
Yeah, well, I think offensively we did a lot of good things. We scored 7 goals and got a lot of good looks from that end, but I think just defensively, just certain areas in between the blue lines, I think we turned some pucks over, which led to some of their goals and their transitions. So just things that we can clean up and just we can simplify a little bit in those situations, especially when you have a lead like we did. We don't want to give them chances. We want to be able to shut those games down. But yeah, of course, we got the win, and like I said, there were some positives to take away for sure.
Now, lost in the onslaught of the goals Thursday night was the fact that it was a milestone night for Tanner Pearson, who skated in his 700th NHL game. The former 30th overall pick in the 2012 draft has played for a dozen years for 5 different clubs. And to put that in perspective, the night he skated in game 700, it was the Golden Knights' 300th home game in franchise history.
Yeah, I think 0 to 500 went pretty smooth. The last 200 have been tough, but no, I don't think you take a day for granted. You know, especially what happened and missing a lot of time. It's just you know, great to still be here. Just can't take it for granted.
Alec Martinez being saluted on Nitron at T-Mobile Arena. Won his third Stanley Cup as a member of the VGK, and he returns with the Chicago Blackhawks tonight.
And in case there wasn't enough going on in the game, it was also the return of Alec Martinez, who was visibly emotional watching his tribute video during the first period, while also getting a standing ovation from all the medieval maniacs. All right, let's move over to Sunday, where it was another night of milestones. Braden McNabb playing in NHL game number 800, while fellow Blue Liner Zach Whitecloud game number 300. Meanwhile, on the opposing bench, Paul Cotter made his return to Vegas since being traded this offseason, getting a warm welcome from the crowd as he skated in his 200th NHL contest. Now, we had no score in the first, so we jumped to the second where the physicality turned up. Whitecloud taking a monster hit at center ice from Stefan Nosen. He would take another hit on the same shift, leave the bench momentarily, but later would return. And then, moving forward, Aiden Hill adding one to the highlight. A pair of former Knights. In a 2-on-1 situation, Eric Holla feeds Cotter, but the Knights netminder flashing the leather right here. Keeps this one scoreless through 2. And then in the final frame, it's the league's top 3 power play coming through. 15 seconds into the man advantage, Noah Hanifin the shot, Mark Stone the deflection. The captain gets his 16th of the season to make it 1-0, and then midway through the third, New Jersey back in the box, and Vegas puts it back in the net. Hanifin blasts this one from the blue line right through Jacob Markstrom. His 7th of the year doubles the Vegas lead. Hill would handle things the rest of the way out. 25 saves in total for his 3rd shutout of the season. 10th of his career as the Knights blank the Devils 2-0.
Yeah, no, it's nice, kind of those lower event games. He just did a good job kind of keeping them to the outside, blocking shots when we had to, and clearing rebounds when we had to. So kudos to our guys. It was a good performance tonight.
Yeah, we did a pretty good job. I think with our defensive game is there, that's usually when we're playing at our best. You know, we want to take care of our end first, and that leads into our offensive game, frustrates teams, and it causes turnovers. We had more than enough opportunities to score tonight, and thought we did a good job at playing better structured defense, and which allows our goalies just to make the saves.
Despite all the ice, we're just getting warmed up here on Hockey in the Desert Weekly. When we return, we'll introduce you to the newest hockey league in the Valley, dedicated to high school athletes. We'll tell you all about it, who is eligible, and what it means for the future of the sport here in Vegas.
You're watching Hockey in the Desert Weekly.
Welcome back inside Hockey in the Desert Weekly. I'm Vince Sapienza. There's no question the fastest growing sport in Las Vegas has been hockey. The arrival and subsequent Stanley Cup championship from the Golden Knights being that epicenter of the boom. But like the team itself, the VGK organization is refusing to rest on its laurels and looking to reach even higher heights with their focus now at the high school level.
It's definitely something I think people are clamoring for. I compare it to, the next biggest thing to girls hockey. I think girls hockey has a lot of room for development and room for growth, but certainly there's now, in this age group of high school players, I think there's a big group of people looking to be on the ice. And really that's just because of the growth that we've gone through.
This past February, we saw the creation of the Vegas Golden Knights High School Hockey League, the first of its kind here in the Valley, allowing high school age players to represent the areas in which they live.
The bubble of kids, or the bell curve of the kids coming through, has always kind of been that big push around 10, 11, 12. Well, now they're starting to get to that high school age. Well, recognizing between Bishop Gorman and Faith Lutheran, plus the travel teams that we have here, soon we're gonna have enough kids that outweigh what we can offer them. So kind of the next logical step would be that valley-wide league as opposed to just 2 schools. This is a big step that way. It allows for more kids to play. It makes it a little bit more community-based, which gets more of the schools, more of the neighborhoods involved with one another.
In this first iteration of the league, it will be co-ed with players whose birth years range from 2008 to 2011. And the teams will be represented by 8 different areas throughout the valley, including Centennial North Las Vegas, Summerlin, Summerlin South, Spring Valley Durango, Enterprise Anthem, Paradise Green Valley, North Henderson Black Mountain, and Southeast Henderson Foothills.
So there's obviously areas that aren't represented necessarily by name, but we'll take some of those smaller pocketed areas and add them to the bigger, what we call anchor schools. So we created those anchor areas and we created jerseys, unique jerseys. It's not just your typical run-of-the-mill, let's get everybody out there and get them going, but that's just another little separator that they'll see within this league as opposed to playing, like I said, either just travel or house or high school.
It's about playing with your friends and opportunity to play with your neighbors. Throughout the valley right now you have between the house leagues and the travel hockey or the other programs. This is an opportunity where you actually get to play with your neighbors. The skill level is going to be varied a little bit at the beginning when we first start this, but as it grows, the more you skate, the better you get, right? So you can play for your house league or you can play for your high school team. A lot more opportunities to get players on the ice.
Every area will feature a major and minor team which will be based on skill level, with 20 players per team. Each team will get 5 practices and 15 games. Now, a regular house league game gets 50 minutes of ice time. In the new high school hockey league games, there will be 3 20-minute periods with 5-minute overtime sessions if necessary, and if still tied, it then goes to a sudden death shootout, guaranteeing a winner every game.
I've already talked to some of my kids on the team about it, and it's amazing to me how they're already starting to kind of almost mimic the Four Nations tournament. Oh, I get to play with so-and-so and so-and-so, and just the excitement behind it and the fact that they're actively involved with, I think between that and scratching the itch of having the amount of players we do, this was kind of a no-brainer as far as where we're going.
Organizers tell me this project has been a labor of love, and the long-term view is to eventually do away with the neighborhoods and have every individual high school represented.
The absolute goal is to get all of Nevada involved. The absolute goal is we go to Reno as well and they get involved in the league, and they have several high schools in Reno. So they would play kind of a regular season each other, and then maybe once or twice during the season, Vegas teams go to Reno teams come to Vegas, and everybody's involved. And that's a long-term goal to get everybody in Nevada involved.
If you were to look at the pyramid of, when players start playing, this is a gap that will be put in that path of hockey that could take them, wherever. It could really pump people up as an option for people that is really valuable. Different models that we've seen. I don't see why, this is something that can't grow into itself here, maybe expand a little bit into Arizona or Utah, non-hockey marketplaces. I really do think that people will like it and that it has real potential to grow into something really cool.
We really want people to understand that this is the future. This is something that we're looking in the long run, and it needs to start somewhere. Today's when we're starting this. So for all those players playing now, they can look back, 5-10 years from now and say, hey, we played in that first original league. And the goal is to get all the schools, as many schools involved as we can.
Back to the action over in San Jose. The Silver Knights suffered their first weekend sweep in nearly 2 months. However, the bright spot for Henderson was Alexander Holt, sent down from Vegas last month, put up 4 goals on Saturday night. He has 7 points and 5 goals in 5 games with HSK.
Well, he shot the puck. I think he had 7 shots, 4 of them went in. Where he scored from was inside the dots, inside the slot. Did a good job with that power play unit of looking to attack. When he got the puck, he was looking to fire, and I think that says something about his mentality, and good for him.
The Night Monsters are in the midst of a playoff race, fresh off a series win against the Allen Americans, where they took 2 of 3 from the weekend. Tahoe currently 6th in the West, just 2 points shy of 2nd in the conference with 16 games to go. Now, if you forget or can't find it, Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network is the spot to be to catch the next set of Tahoe Night Monsters matchups. Your next opportunity, Thursday, March 6th, as their series opener with Rapid City. Still ahead here on Hockey in the Desert Weekly, it is time to turn our attention to the Scarlet and Gray Skating Rebels goaltender Doug Wakeland here in studio, looking ahead to the home series finale at City National Arena and what Nationals means to this group later this month. Welcome back inside Hockey in the Desert Weekly. I'm Vince Sapienza. We've talked gold, silver, even that Tahoe teal. Time to talk a little scarlet and gray and help do that and set the table for the next couple weeks is Skating Rebels goaltender Doug Wakeland joining the program. Thanks so much for joining us,
Thanks
Doug.
for having me.
All right, let's get right into it. In the midst, this past week was a bye week as we get set for the home series finale at City National Arena. Before we get to Arizona State, how did you guys treat this bye week as we inch closer and closer to Nationals?
Yeah, it's been quite a long season so far, so we used it to kind of just relax and get a little bit of healthiness. So that way we don't have any lingering injuries going on through, and then prep on doing a little things throughout the week that we're wanting to get in and fine-tune going into the ASU weekend as well as going into the national tournament.
What is the mindset of the group right now? Because obviously you've had a wild amount of success during this regular season, but the goal has always been much more than regular season success.
Absolutely. The goal has always been that national championship. I mean, I think most of the guys are ready just to go, and we wish we could just go start playing nationals right now and just get going.
So let's talk about the week that is to come, the home series finale at City National Arena. It's kind of the last time this season you can really get the fans out, let them feel what Skating Rebel hockey is all about. Arizona State, you know, a lot of teams could have sat there and said, we're going to have a bye week, we're going to practice, we're going to prep. But head coach Anthony Vinieri Greener sits there and says, no, let's test our mettle one more time as a nice primer for the Nationals. What do you think about that as having some real competition before you get going?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different than having a few weeks off going to the national tournament. It's always good to stay in that game-ready shape. Just playing games is a little bit different than practicing week by week. So keeping that game shape is going to be a key focus and something that we'll be able to use going into the national tournament.
Some cool things going on. Friday night is the first responders night. You guys are going to be wearing some sweet sweaters. Have you gotten a full look at these things? And what do you make of them?
No, not in person. Just some of the teaser pics that everybody else has gotten to see. So I'm looking forward to wearing them.
And then obviously Saturday night, it culminates with senior night. It's not only senior night, but you guys are being awarded the first trophy in program history. What does that mean to the seniors that have been part of this program and for you to kind of see it be part of this group that created the first trophy here at UNLV?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great for the seniors, being able to get that trophy for them. It's going to be great. Obviously, that's not the ultimate goal, but it's kind of like the stepping stone, how we have our motto going brick by brick. That's one of the bricks that we had in place, so get that goal, go on to the next. So it's great to get them that, and then it just gets everybody a little bit taste for more.
Now, the trophy, a little bit of a old hat for Doug Wakeland. This is not the first trophy you experienced. Can you tell the audience why that is?
Yeah, this will be my fourth straight year of winning the WCHL trophy. I'm happy to bring it back here. So being able to keep that and bring it here to UNLV, so be pretty proud of that moment for myself.
He played over at Oklahoma. We don't need to talk about that team because we were talking about UNLV, but you have now be able to provide some unique perspective now. Like, the trophy's great, right?
Yeah.
Celebrate the trophy and all that, but knowing that you've had that experience, that's not the end-all be-all result. So how much conversation is that with the team, if at all?
I mean, there's not too much left to say. Like, obviously, great we won that regular season trophy, but we all want that end goal of winning the national championship trophy. So everybody has their mindset. I mean, I'm obviously open to helping the guys and giving them a little bit of 2 cents, especially the freshmen, about what the tournament's going to be like and go on the run. I know UNLV made it to the national championship game last year, so you already got those guys who have that experience and know what it takes to get there. So we just need to all come together as a group and be able to make sure we get that next step to winning it all.
All right, so let's talk about nationals. How do you project? Is it truly one game at a time? Do you refuse to let your mind wander of what games 2, 3, 4 might be?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely one game at a time. If you take your opponent for granted, as you saw last year, there's a bunch of upsets. If you look at the opponent head, you're not fully focused for the team that you're playing that night or that next day, that could come back to bite you. So just being prepared for the team that's going to be facing you for that one game, because nothing's guaranteed tomorrow. So you got to make sure that you earn it.
We were talking off camera and asked how ready he feels the group is. And as a goaltender, you can always be a little bit more ready. But this group, it feels like they're playing the right time, they're primed at the right time, and it feels like there's a lot of good things that can happen.
Yeah, I mean, we got a great team. I got all the confidence in this team to go far and make that national championship run. I know we got the skills, the set, and all the capabilities to make that deep run. I believe in every single person on our team, so I got a full amount of trust. I believe we have what it takes to go do that.
And just before we let you go, I know we talked about the trophy, but a lot of accolades for this team. How happy are you as a teammate, as a friend, as a brother, to see 3 first-teamers, 2 second-teamers, an MVP in Del Monte, and then Coach of the Year in Anthony Vinieri-Greener?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I've been lucky enough to have a couple of those in the past as well, but it just kind of showcases not just as what those individual players have been able to accomplish throughout the year, but what we have been able to do as a team. Like, obviously, yeah, those accomplishments are great for the individual person, but there's no way they can do that without the team as a whole. So not just to those guys who had incredible seasons, but to every other one of us on the team that helped them get to that where they got recognized for their extraordinary accomplishments throughout this year.
He is Doug Wakeland. He is the Skating Rebels goaltender. Doug, we appreciate you. Best of luck
Thank you.
in the home series finale against Arizona State at City National Arena. Get there if you have not experienced, and if you have, then you know you're already probably going back against ASU. First Responders Night on Friday, Senior Night on Saturday. We will chat down the line as we get closer to Nationals. But before we break, it is time, once again, to get set to clear the ice. It's on the other side. Keep it here. Welcome back inside Hockey in the Desert Weekly. I'm Vince Sapienza. Time now to wrap this thing up, and to do that, we got to clear the ice.
And the chance doesn't go for Novak. And the puck cleared out of the zone. Look out here.
That's in the net.
Bullseye!
Now, why am I showing you an empty net goal? Well, that's because that empty net goal was credited to New York Islanders goaltender Ilya Sorokin. And the rule is a goalie goal means it's clear the ice. Now, he made not one but 2 great saves late, but it's the last one that gets pushed to the side. Steven Stamkos goes to play it back to the point, but there's no one there. It finds its way all the way down the ice and in the net right there. And since Sorokin was the last Islander to touch the puck, he gets credit. His first career goal, second for the Islanders. We'll see you next week.